before, what I want to first talk about, guys, is what inbound calls are, right? So the first step is, guys, for the rest of the team, they're consumer initiated inbound calls. So what they are, there are people that are going to be calling us looking to purchase life insurance. Now, the avenue of these can be, and any it's a publisher, so it could be a TV ad, it could be a radio ad, it could be a magazine, it could be as simple as an ad on their phone that they're clicking and they're calling. At that point in time, there are different ways of filtering it where you can have a person transfer it to like a live transfer. You can have like a filter setting or an AI. But the point of it is, guys, I went down to Miami, and me and Marisa did, and we were thankful enough to meet with Adam Young. He is the CEO of Ringba. And guys, you'd be surprised of how many inbound calls go through Ringba. I'm pretty sure, according to the numbers, and don't quote me, but I know it's above 90%. I think 98% or 96% of all calls go through Ringba. Now, why is that important? I'll be very direct. We spend 40, 44, $45 per lead just to call them to only speak to 30, 40, 50%, right? Now, the inbound lead, it's a little different because they're calling us. The name of life insurance, guys, or at least to scale and sell at a high level, is getting enough people in front of you to talk about life insurance. I know it may sound a little bit cliche, but it is. Like if I right now put Heather in front of 100 people and she talks to all 100, she'll sell some of them because she knows how to sell. She knows how to explain the need, explain the logic. So the power of inbound, guys, and most importantly, is we're getting qualified people in front of us looking to, again, purchase life insurance. And we're able to talk to them, avoid a spam blocker, avoid the unknown caller, avoid all the hoops that makes us not able to get a high contact rate. At least you're able to continue talking to them, right? Now, a lead's a lead. It's not a sale. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys, oh, they're going to call you and buy like Skittles. That's not how it's going to work. You're going to sit there, you're going to have the same objections, the same exact, I think it's free, I can't afford it. But the name of the game is, instead of me calling all day 8 hours, chasing people to answer, I have people calling me. And numbers are numbers, guys, at that point in time. And after truly, when me and spoke to Adam Young and we actually realized how many companies are using inbound calls, I want to do this call. I want to say, hey, I want the team to understand what inbounds truly, truly are. So if you guys don't know what they are, they're called consumer initiated inbound call. Again, it's a call where a client clicks an advertisement with a 1-800 number. They call you directly. And we answer it. We go through a script. Pretty straightforward. Now, I'm going to talk to these four here because, guys, Jaden, Heather, Leo, and Bree, they've done a very good job of taking the calls, not disqualifying the client, and they know what that means. We'll touch on that momentarily, but they're not hanging up on them just to get to the sale. They're going through it and vetting the client. Because with inbounds, guys, you have a buffer. You have a 90-second, 30-second, depends on the metric, but you can have between 30 to 90 seconds where you have to qualify the client. They must be in your state. They can't be above the age of 89, and they can't think, it's completely and totally free from the government. They have to understand that there is some cost to it. Once you can get through those 3 points in 90 seconds, you hang up on them, you don't get charged on it. So you guys to think of it, you guys can literally take 100 calls a day, 30 calls a day, and talk to people and get to the one who actually really needs it. But I'm going to first talk for you, Heather, and I'm going to round robin this a little bit. I'm going to go back and forth. But Heather, to you, what is the biggest difference that you've noticed between inbound leads and outbound leads, especially regarding the calling of it, the cadence, and your sales process?
So the biggest difference for me is it's helped me significantly with being able to run my business as well as make sales and help people. I was just running the numbers real quick. There's a couple keys to inbounds that I kind of want to kind of tell everybody. The first thing is all, here's my mother coming out, all actions have consequences, right? So if we want to make this successful, we have to understand that there's a consequence to it. And the biggest consequence is lead spend, right? You're spending more money for less leads. However, the consequence of that is you're actually making more money because you're buying quality leads. Now, when I say quality, I don't want you to think, well, bronze leads aren't quality. That's not true at all. It's how much time you're getting to spend. And that's the biggest difference I'm being able to find is the amount of time I can spend on the phone with people is less because they're high quality, meaning high, what's the word, Rami? Intent, high intent, right? So if you don't have the money you're not going to want to do these. I mean, that's just flat out. If you don't have money, you need the time. If you have time and you have the ability to call people every single day, all day, then you should do that. But keep in mind, guys, if you're spending a certain amount on leads, um, lead spend is lead spend. If you're spending $250 a week on leads, you're going to get the quality of the leads that you're spending it on. If you're spending double that, 500 a week on leads, you're going to get the quality. If you're spending $1,000 a week or $2,000 a week on leads, it doesn't matter the leads, you're getting the same quality. It's just the amount of leads that you're spending it on. In the 4 months that I've been doing, I did it December, January, February, and so far of March. I submitted, I don't know, issue paid, but I submitted in 4 months, 24, 34, 44, 45, 46, $47,000 in 4 months just with these. It's an average of about $11,000 a month.
Extra
Right?
per month of volume, exactly. Because that's how much you're buying more
Just with
leads, Heather,
these.
correct? Because you're working more
Exactly.
leads, not just inbound.
100%.
Exactly. So, guys, that's important. You've touched on that. Her submitting in 4 months, an extra $11,000 added to her total overall volume AP. And what she's saying basically is, guys, if you're buying more leads, you're going to have more higher quality people because you're talking to more people, right? You're going to get the people who have higher intent. And with inbounds, the more you talk or the more calls you take, the more money you're going to make because you have a score. And we'll talk to that momentarily. But I think the biggest thing, Heather, is what I've realized what you're saying between inbound and outbound is, hey, if you have just $400, maybe it's not the best idea to purchase inbound as your first thing. But once you get going, you get your feet under you, you want to start adding extra volume. It's a great lead source to get that extra AP to maybe get you next promotion level, maybe get the next bonus you're looking for, right?
Yep. Add it to what you currently have if you're doing leads. And then if you have the money and you don't have the time, like that's where I'm at right now, right? I don't have time, but I have the money, then I'm going to focus, more on the inbound leads. But the leads are leads. So
exactly. Leads are leads. I agree with that. Now, Leo, I want to ask this question because you do a really good job with this, and your calls are recorded. They're clipping it, they're posting it for training. So I'm being very serious. To you, Leo, truly, what is the most important thing that you want to recognize in the first 30 to 60 seconds of an inbound call? Like, what are you looking for outside of just are they in my state? Are they under the age of 89? What are you looking for in their voice, particularly, or maybe certain things that you might have found helpful to you to qualify the candidate to make it past that buffer zone?
I think for me, and I wasn't doing a good job of this when I first started, but it's just emphasizing that there is that monthly payment, because you can get down all the way to the point where you're charged for the call and you wasted all that time and then they tell you, oh, I thought it was free. So for me, it's just like really emphasizing that if they don't agree to that, okay, there is a monthly payment involved. If they don't acknowledge that, then I just want to really emphasize that. So that's really the biggest thing in the beginning of the call for me.
It's just you're not scared to repeat it to them.
Yeah, exactly. You have to, because you got to get them to recognize that or to acknowledge it.
So, guys, key. I want you guys all to write that down. They have to recognize as a monthly payment because, again, we can have many people in front of us all day long talking about life insurance, but they think it's free. How's that going to help us in our business, right? So it's a very good point, Leo. And my second question to you, Leo, is how do you think tonality in inbounds should be different than outbounds to you? In your mind, what are the different cadences you would say that inbound dialer would have or inbound call take would take versus when you're outbounding?
So I feel like they think that they're calling into probably like a call center or a big office, right? So it's more of that approach of like you're sitting in an office, regular job, and just having that kind of tone. And the thing about these is that it's like you're taking an order. Somebody's calling in to place an order and you're just taking it, right? And there's no role and purpose involved. You don't have to explain what you're doing. You're just going line by line down the script. It's very straightforward, as opposed to inbound. Inbound's a little different. You got to do a little bit more explaining. With this, it's just like straight to the point, and eventually you get down to the numbers. Sometimes they give you, a lot of times you're going to hear the same objections that you hear in inbound. It's the same exact thing, but you're already prepared for that from inbound. So it's the same exact thing when you get to that point. But before that, is just very, very straightforward. It's question, answer. It's just back and forth quickly. It's just quicker.
Quicker. Okay, and I like that. So basically, become an order taker, but at the same time, so what he means by that, guys, becoming an order taker, just collecting information, right? So in your inbounds, you don't want to be that pushy salesman. You want to do is, okay, like Leo said, they're calling to a massive organization. They could be talking to one company or 18 companies, right? And at that point in time, you're just collecting information without having to, push too far. But is it fair to say, Leo, as well, though, because I've heard some of your calls, and is it fair to say that the best agents who perform inbound at a high level still take control of the conversation towards the end? They collect the information as an order taker, but they still have a way of tying it together with strong questions. They guide the client guys to the proper solution, and they find a solution or policy that's going to fit that person's problem, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, and once you get down to quoting, it's all the same thing. Exactly.
So, guys, say it again.
Once you get down to the quoting part, it's exactly the same thing as outbound at that point.
Perfect, guys. Exactly. So with that, guys, one of my point in saying the order taker mentality is like Leo said, like once you get down to the end of the application, once you get to the end of the script, it's just like an outbound call. You're gonna get the same BS. They're gonna tell you, I gotta think about it. I may not need this. So you're still gonna have to take those objections that you learned during outbound, and apply it to inbound. So my point in saying that, guys, is become an order taker, master tonality, master your cadence, but most important at the same time, don't be afraid to still explain to the client why they need it, right? Because they're calling in, they're showing they're curious. Let's turn their curiosity into intent, right? And always, guys, be aware of that. That it's easy to get someone to be curious. Let's turn it into intent. And Leo does a great job of doing that. And Bree, I want to go to you next. Why did you decide to add inbounds to your workflow? Because you were killing it. You're selling 40, 50K a month consistently. Every month you were doing great on vet leads. You're a veteran, so you're doing great on that end. But what made you want to add inbounds to your lead flow? What made you think that, hey, this is something I want to use as a newer agent?
I think it's just always important to have, more than one source of leads. It's always good to try new things as well to work other things in. And obviously, it's hard enough to get people on the phone. And eventually, with all this AI and everything, and we already have all the call blocks, it's hard enough to get clients on the phone. So eventually this could be, what this world is going to. So I'm not afraid to try new things. And just to add another 10K to my profit a month, that would be the goal, or to my IP. So I've always, yeah. So I just like to add them in for supplementing.
Amazing. Perfect. So you're still buying your same lead flow. Your lead flow is the same. You're just adding in supplemental leads, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
So my next question to you, who would be not a good fit for inbounds? I mean it. And who's not a good fit for inbounds? Who would you say should not work inbounds at the start?
My serious opinion?
Yeah, truly.
I think everybody needs to dial out. I think everybody needs to do outbound, learn the process and everything, because inbounds aren't just, you're not just going to come in and kill inbounds. Like, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, I struggle on inbounds. I'm like, what am I missing? Because you still have to build value in those. I mean, you're still going to get the same things. It's kind of a different thing. And I think when I first started them, I was just so boom, boom, boom. And I didn't build any value. So it was just there's still a process to it. So in my opinion, I think new agents should still start outbound. But I guess if that's how you learn and you come in, I guess it would be a different thing, because that's just going to be what you know. Somebody that absolutely shouldn't do inbounds. I don't know. That's a hard question.
Okay, I'll help you out with that one. So I think you're on the right point with that. You don't have, the experience of how to build value, right? Like you were saying, you're like, they're not all going to be sales. Is it fair to say that not every call turns into a sale? That some calls are duds, right?
Yeah.
And with that being said, to your point, is that you have to learn how to balance it out with outbound. You have to understand that, like you said, they're not all going to be sales. If someone comes in expecting to spend minimal spend, $400, $500, talk to 10 people and expect to sell all of them, that might not be the right person with the right mindset, because they have to actually understand the process of how the inbound works and what's actually the results. Because Heather just said, guys, 4 months, and Heather can sell $47,000 of volume, guys, added in 4 months. So, and Heather, and I know if I was to look at the numbers, we might know a little bit more, but my point in saying that is
No,
a
yeah,
tip
that
that
was just with inbound. That I was just saying that that number is a good number for somebody who's putting it in basically in their schedule. And I think that's
exactly,
what you guys were saying. You have to have the ability to fund it and you have to have the ability to work it. Just like you would you have to work your leads no matter what, right? But if you don't have the time to put into your leads, no matter what kind of leads they are, if you're not actually working, it wouldn't be a good fit for you.
exactly. And if
But
you're
if
just
you
trying to
have
disqualify
limited
people,
time, yeah, if you have limited time, it might be a better fit for you if you have the money to play with.
exactly. And I want to ask this question to all three of you, if you guys can answer. How has your daily schedule changed since all four of you changed to adding inbounds? And JD, you can lead with that one first.
Sounds good. How my schedule has just changed?
Yeah, by adding inbound, how has it changed? How's it went from just what was your schedule before inbounds? What's your schedule now with inbounds?
Now, be honest with you, I get up a little bit later, but with that, it's because before when I was going all outbounds, it was my amount of people that I was able to get onto presentations was a lot lower compared to now. It's kind of going back with Heather saying that it's like if you have the money to be able to, I guess, take that time or the amount of time you are to get that contact to get to that person who is actually interested. It's kind of led me to being able to run my business more in the background. So, like in the morning, get up, do background stuff, which before I would have been dialing right away. But I know as soon as 9 a.m. hits that inbounds are coming in, I'm going to get at least two presentations in right away, which outbounds before, it would have been like maybe two presentations all day. So, getting to it, I guess the inbound aspect when it comes to my schedule, it's made my schedule a little bit more compact. So I have a little bit more, I guess, volume in that amount of time comparing to have it spread it out within like a 9 hour time and just letting me kind of run the rest of the stuff with my business, like bookkeeping. I've been able to kind of structure more things in when it comes to like numbers, like I was talking to you guys about like conversations, inbound calls, appointment set, presentations. It's just allowed me to make more systems is kind of what I'm getting at. So it's helped me a lot in that way.
That makes sense. So basically, in essence, instead of like you said, calling for all day to get two presentations, 100% I'm going to get X amount of people on the phone because they're going to answer. They're calling us. There's no way for them not to answer. And I have to just get through the numbers, and I'm eventually going to have those two, three, four presentations
As
compared to
long as
sitting
you're
all
applying
day.
yourself. Yes.
Exactly. And it's not bang your head against the wall. And guys, that's really
100%.
important to understand here because I will make this clear. I'm not trying to say they're all going to be sales, but once you get good at selling life insurance, and I mean it, once you crack, I call it you crack the code. So once you actually understand the sales process, the rebuttals, the objections, it's all the same. You can talk to anybody and get them to purchase life insurance. And I mean that. And when you can get people who are literally clicking on an advertisement to call in to show some interest, guys, think about that literally. Like we spend so much money on leads, thousands of dollars a month, just to get such a minimal contact rate. And now we're able to have a 100% contact rate. Now, is the sale rate going to be there? Maybe, maybe not, right? But the point is, put as many people in front of us as possible that's looking to purchase insurance. And that's why, guys, inbounds, I think, is really important to adding it. And I want to touch on this momentarily, too. And then, Jada, I want to ask you a question regarding post dating. So, and Leo, you as well. So I know that, post dating is a thing that is sometimes hard for an agent not to do, right? We don't want to lose a sale. I'm being very direct. We don't want the client to get burned and get charged. We want to make sure that they understand. What word tracks have you changed, Aiden, to kind of avoid post dating, to make sure that when you're calling inbound specifically, not outbound, but inbounds, you're able to kind of get them on the same page of payment is going to come out 1 to 2 business days, your recurring draft is on this date. What have you adopted into your sales structure to stop post dating?
So before, I was very flexible with it. I was kind of like, hey, when I get an application, when I get to that recurring draft date, I'm like, hey, Susan or whoever it is, I'm like, what's a good, comfortable day every single month for you that you want this to come out? And you sit there and you hear that from a client's perspective, they're going to want to post date that 30 days out because no one wants to pay for something that day. So what I've been changing now is as I'm building up value, I'm subtly putting little hints in where I'm like, excuse me, this is going to be immediate coverage. I'm throwing in little things so that they kind of have that, I guess, psychology in the back of their head, like, hey, this is probably going to be something that's going to come out soon. So then when we get into the application, I'm like, hey, Susan, this is going to come out in 1 to 3 business days. It will be the 17th recurring every single month. Is that a comfortable date for you? that's when I ask it. I'm not asking when a good day is. I'm kind of just reaffirming like, hey, is this a good time zone for you? And if they give me any type of like backlash with that, I always bring out. I'm like, hey, Susan, we have had clients in the past where they try post dating it for next month. That client ends up passing, and then that family doesn't get the money. You really have to act like these clients could die tomorrow, the next week, because it's true. It's like you don't, tomorrow's not promised. So you really want to look after the client as if this is the only coverage they have in place. This is what they need, and you got to make sure to kind of dig into it. Like going into it, if they do give you a little bit more about like, hey, I can't pay for this right now. I can't do this. I can't, I have to have this come out. That's where I dig a little bit more. And I'm like, hey, do you have any money in savings? Like, can you take any money in savings to make sure this is immediate for your family? Because I know this is where you build up the value. I know you said Joe, your husband right now, he's not able to come up with the funds to be able to pay for this because you guys are already on a very fixed income. You putting this $30 aside right now is going to ensure that that $7,000 is going to get paid over to your beneficiary tax free. And it's kind of just building that rapport up of like, hey, this is what it's going to do. And you got to be very, very transparent, which I've been doing. I feel like I've been doing a lot better job recently on is being really straight up. So I'm not sitting here beating around the bush about like, oh, this is what could happen. I'm like, this is what's going to happen. Like, if you don't pay for this now, it's not immediate. If you something happens in that time, your family might not get the coverage. So how important is this really for you to get this immediate? And then if they keep giving me a little bit of backlash where it's like, hey, Jaden, we're really on a fixed income, this is what it is, then that's maybe kind of more where I'll digest on, okay, maybe they do need to have it be coming out in a week or so, which is fair, but that's kind of where you just got to kind of find the value in it is what I'm getting at. So hopefully that
That
answers
makes
the
sense.
question, right?
No, it did, yeah. And you're basically saying I'm being proactive versus reactive, where I'm planting seeds through my presentation. I'm saying small words like it's immediate benefit, it's effective immediate. Your family received the funds you passed away yesterday within the 1 week to this upcoming week. You're saying things that are and they're indicating it's day one coverage and it's going to be effective immediate. And you're hinting that hey, this is going to be coming out. And like you said, you're not asking, you're just reaffirming that it's a comfortable draft date. And what I will add to that, guys, with inbound specifically is post dating is not bad. Now, you guys all know me. I hate post dating. Like Leo and Bree will tell you, like, hey, Rami is not a post dater. He does not like it. He pushes me. I'll call you guys, say, why are you post dating? But with inbounds, and to Jaden's point, you just want to make sure, again, you're being proactive by having the right mindset, by assuming the client could die any day, by saying that, hey, they know they need this coverage. That's what they're calling us. And think about it. We get ads all day. We don't click on it randomly and pick up the phone and call. Now, I get it. There's a certain demographic that will do that. And that's why these things have been around for literally 50 plus years. And guys, so my biggest thing with the post dating is I know it's hard, or I know it's easier for all of us to post date, but if you do what Jaden does, being proactive versus reactive, putting small cues out there that why they needed to draft immediate, because you have no life insurance, because you're in the fourth quarter, as we like to say it, because if anything is to happen to you, you don't want your wife being burdened tomorrow. Adding those small points or planting those seeds will cause a flower to grow at the end, which is a family understanding urgency, knowing they need the insurance, knowing that if I did die tonight, my family's paying pocket tomorrow. So why would I push it out 31 days, right? And if they have guys, and they always have the money, I'll tell you that. Clients, 99% of the time, have money in their accounts, just like Jaden said. Go in your savings, transfer that over, right? So keep in mind that they're not living paycheck to paycheck. And it's our job to keep that in mind, be very assumptive. And like Leo was hinting, being an order taker, but at the same time, you're still the professional. Lead the call, guide and direct them. And guys, I'm gonna just give you guys some insight regarding why I think everyone should be adding this as well. Like Heather did say, it shortens your time you're on the phone. Every inbound call is probably 20, 30 minutes. It's not too long. They're not 45-minute long. If I can have 15 presentations in one day compared to 8, I have 50% chance or 100% chance of closing more people because I've doubled the appointments, right? I've doubled the presentations. So if a lot of you right now are making dials every day, you're having a low contact rate, not enough presentations, I highly encourage you to grab a pack of inbounds. Now, you're going to continue dialing. You're going to go through your day as you normally would, but you're going to find a day on Wednesday, a few hours in a day, toggle that on Integrity Connect, see what it's like, take a couple of calls. And I want to ask you guys each this question and ignore, the BS behind it, truly. Bree, what's your largest inbound sale that you issued? Truly, the largest sale that issued and paid.
Let me
I
see
know
here.
it.
You know
Leah.
it?
Yeah, I want you to pull it up. Yeah, your biggest inbound. And it could be the his and hers if you want, because that does count.
his and hers was 5,904.
So six
Or
thousand
sorry.
dollars pretty much.
Yeah.
All right. And then on that, you would say, do you spend less than $1,000 on lead spend, you would say, to get that sale on that pack?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, Leo, what's your biggest sale, my friend, on inbounds?
It was 6,888, I think.
So around 7,000. All right. And would you say as well, you spent less than $1,000 to get there, or at least 1,000?
Yeah.
Okay. And Heather, for you, largest inbound sale,
3,500.
3,500. And on that,
Definitely. I don't spend a lot on inbound.
no, I get it. You're like, all right. So 10, that's it, making the calls. That there came from a 10 pack, right? 10 billables, you would say. Perfect. And Jaden, same thing for you.
Just shy of $2,000, and I spent, I think that pack, it was my first one, so $55.
All
So
right.
pretty good ROI.
Yeah, so Jaden $55, 2,000. Heather has 10 billable calls, guys. So each billable call is $55. So 10 pack basically. And it doesn't mean every single call is billable, just when you paying it past 90 seconds. That 3,500. Same thing with Leo. I know if I look at the number, it might have been 2 packs max. That's $1,000 for 7,000 ROI, or 6,000 ROI. And the same thing with Bree. Is between maybe 500 to 1,000 to get that 6 guys. Now, if you go back into your guys' calendars, I'm serious, you track your leads, you're not getting that type of ROI. So just like we add aged into our system, you guys want to start to add inbounds into the system for ROI. Because guys, again, if I can make $5,000 off a $55 lead, that's amazing, right? And that goes back to kind of the old school buy per lead of mortgage protection. If you guys take my math and you take my mortgage mail drop and you break it down per piece, you guys may think $55 is a lot. My mail drop may be $300, $400 per lead I get, just because of the way the math works out. But the production, the profit's always there. So don't look at leads by their number, look at it by the profit. Think of, okay, is it going to add context to my business? Is it going to remove presentation to my business? And inbounds to me, guys, is adding presentations, adding more contacts. And it's basically, guys, making sure that we're keeping up to date. Because like Bree did say, it's very hard, guys, to bypass someone's phone when they don't have your number saved. They have the spam block on and the auto block on, the unknown caller. How can we reach them? Text them and call and like blow them up via email? I don't know how much that's going to work. So in order to bypass that, guys, inbounds, guys, is going to be a very big thing you'll see in the next couple of years in insurance. And they've always been around, but now there's going to be more of a focus on it, especially here at FFL. As you can see, Sean, Andrew, Trey, everyone's really pushing this, guys. So I really want you guys the main point of this call was hopefully that you guys can understand what they are, people calling us by life insurance. It was to expose you guys to the mindset behind it, where it's important to have a strong mindset. You can't just have a weak mindset and call these leads, because you have to understand that it's an order taker mentality. It's less of a pushy sale. It's more of a, yep, I got it. That's your address. That's your medications. This is what you need. Our system's telling us the best option available is XYZ at this coverage amount. And you keep moving forward. If you guys can adopt that method, you guys will have an additional, like Heather said, $10,000 of volume per month. And just looking at these 4 guys here, Jaden, Heather, Bree, and Leo, I've seen their growth. Like I've seen Jaden going from writing, a policy a week to writing almost a policy a day. I've seen Leo go from writing 20K, 30K, now almost 40K. Same thing with Bree, going from 40 to 50. Heather, same thing. So guys, I want you guys, all you guys, to say one thing you guys want to leave an agent with who right now at the end of this call wants to start working inbound leads. It could be anything. It could be a tip. It could be a comment, anything at all. What would you leave an agent that you guys hired and wants to do inbound leads? What would you tell them?
I would say if you are getting, let's say you have like 5 billables and you haven't even gotten any of the presentation, like you're going off your point, don't look at it as the number of like how much you're paying on the leads. Just know that the numbers always work out, because that was a really big issue when I started in the business. I was penny pinching on leads, which isn't going to help you, which goes back to the time again. Um, it's just really, really important. Sorry, I lost my train of thought on that, but um, it's just important in general. Just, I guess, build that up, because if you go in thinking that you're going to sell the first person or the second person or a third person, it's kind of going to be a big shock to you on like, okay, is this really for me? But you just have to keep doubling down. You just have to keep reinvesting in yourself, because the numbers always work. Like I track my numbers to a T every single day, every single week. And there's some days or some weeks where you'll spend like $950,000 and not close a sale, $2,000, and then you'll put in another $2,000 and you'll make $8,000 off that. So if anybody's listening, they're new, keep reinvesting as much as you can and just trust that the numbers always work out.
I agree, Jaden. Thank you for that.
I'll go.
You got it,
So
Bree.
I had a couple of things. So for one, I think you said 89 at the beginning, and for inbounds, it's actually 85. So if they're over 85, you can hang up.
Thank you, Bree. I appreciate
So you don't have to worry about Aetna, one shot, one deal. So you don't have to worry about that. Another thing is, if you're buying premium leads, they're about $45, $50 a lead anyways, and some of those you'll never ever make contact with. These you actually will. So that doesn't really even factor into like your at bats, because it doesn't even factor into like a contact when you never get them on the phone. So you actually get contacts, like a live contact. It has been awesome that you can hang up, and if you do pay the extra like $5, you can hang up within 90 seconds. And we're testing out like some 30-second short duration ones, because like a lot of us, we don't really hang up on a lot of people. We pretty much qualify them. So we're kind of testing that out. So they have some really cool things coming up, but like just the fact that you actually get, the people on the phone. I think they're working out some kinks, but just my advice is like treat them like a client that you would outbound. I think that's where I hung up in the beginning. Just treat them like a regular client. Make sure you call them, make sure they got their policy, follow up with them, see if they want to add coverage. They're just a regular client just because they called into you. Treat them like, they're your client. Just to make sure that you keep good business with them. So that's all I got.
And just to touch on that, guys, like Bree said, the same people that are on Facebook filling out the ads for vet leads, FEX, IUL, they're the same exact people calling in. I have 3 clients that I actually know of truly that are leads in my system, and they called in as an inbound lead, and it's hilarious. And I'm like, wow, they actually do just keep filling out ads. So like to Bree's point, the same person that's filling the veteran ad that's not answering you, they're calling the ad and they're talking to somebody. You want to be on the other side where you're actually able to talk to them. So I definitely agree with that. Thank you, Bree. And Leo, what would you say, my friend, to somebody who wants to start doing inbounds?
Number one, stick to the script because that works. And then just take the leap of faith, because what do we say?
Love that, bro.
Get through 100 presentations, your first 100 presentations.
Yep.
This is guaranteed presentations, so if you want to get there quicker, just take that leap of faith.
That's a very good point, guys. Like we do say that. You want to get through your first 100 presentations as fast as possible. Now, instead of like Bree's point, Leo's point, dialing and going crazy, not getting people on the phone, paying $40 per lead. Sure, if it's $10 up, it's $10 more. But like Leo said, he can have 100 at bats in a row that he knows he's going to present to. As long as he stays on the phone and just tells the client, hey, it's not free, it's an affordable payment. He follows the script, takes the information, and ties it all together. And guys, Leo has done a very good job at the inbounds because he's done a really good job just adapting his mindset, truly. And Leo is definitely, I would say, you have really good perseverance and you understand how to adapt and evolve. So I think that everyone on this call should take that, whatever Leo is mentioning, just regarding following the script, just building the value, and just understanding that more presentations equals more sales, guys. It's very basic. The more people I speak to, the more presentations I make, the more sales I make, right? And our business, guys, is about helping families. And I keep saying sales, but that's a family protected, to be very honest. When I sell somebody, I don't look at them like a sale. I'm like, hey, that's a family. I know if they die tomorrow, their house is paid for, their burial is paid for. Adopt that mindset when you're talking to the inbounds because there's still a client looking to purchase insurance and they have a need. They may just not know what that need is yet. And it's our job to, find the problem, present the solution. And Heather, what would you say you would leave a new agent or any agent that wants to get into inbounds, seasoned or brand new?
100% is everything everybody said was in my notes, except I'm going to add mindset. Your mindset has to be straight for any leads. But specifically with these leads, you follow the script, you unmute yourself because even after the first 90 seconds, right? The first 90 seconds is important to follow the script. Like you have to, or they're going to shut you down. The amount and quality that we get is going to be determined by you following the script and closing, and then dispositioning them properly right after you get off the phone. So if you keep your mindset straight, you keep it positive, you get past that 90 seconds, you're following whatever script you're on, whether you sell them or not, it's the same thing as if the person that you just called. So it doesn't matter. Just keep that mindset. The hardest part is you spend $1,200 on leads, and then, like Jaden said, you might not actually make 1,200 right away, but then that week you've made 8,000. So do you want to do that in a short amount of time, or are you just afraid to spend the money? And once you make that decision and that mentality that this is my business, I've got to fund my business. I'm not going to get away with having a business for free. Nobody is. So think about that. Your mindset is so important in all levels of this business.
I agree, Heather, tremendously. That's true, guys. And that's why, guys, the winning mindset is always, having high activity, being coachable, and just moving fast and breaking things, right? Just activity, being coachable, and just getting after it and doing it, right? Putting your best foot forward and keeping your head down and grinding. And with inbounds, guys, the one thing I will say is that I have seen, don't worry about persistency, guys. Truly, in life insurance, in any lead, there's going to be a fall off rate. So that's going to happen no matter what. So the biggest thing is just to dial down your skill levels. Understand that, hey, if I'm having a chargeback problem, sometimes, yeah, the person, they might have picked an office too expensive. They might have, maybe did a premature decision or put a draft date a day early. But it's okay, because just like Heather said, what happens is it's going to shorten your sales cycle because I'm talking to more people in less amount of time. It's going to increase my efficiency, and it's going to allow you guys, your agents, to stack your deck with more volume and getting more qualified prospects in front of you. Are they all going to buy? No. But I promise you, if all of you took this week, 20 billable calls, go buy a 30-pack of vet leads and call them, I guarantee you will make at least money on the inbound side. I can't guarantee on the other side, because all I know is that when someone's calling me, there's no other way for me to say that's a bad lead, because they're calling me to buy insurance. Now, are there variables in there? There's always variables, guys. I used to be in the field working final expense life insurance and walking in Section 8 housing, talking to someone who smoked 19 packs of cigarettes in front of me. I'm like, all right, hey, do you have 20 bucks a month? They're like, no, I need it for 19. And I end up buying it for 40. And it charges back. I come back and I put some more insurance, guys, and outright it. So my point in saying that story to you guys is there's always chargebacks. It's always going to happen. But as long as you keep writing your business, you'll outright it. And of course, don't just, not focus on it. Call your chargebacks. I guarantee you, people who cancel for one or two reasons. They either have it lapse and they missed the payment and they forgot about it, or they have buyer's remorse and you don't follow back up. And now we stuck. We say, you're stuck with me forever, but then we never call them back again. So if we're going to say that line, at least be their agent for life and follow back up in a couple weeks down the line. Hey, did you get your policy? Hey, I hope you're having a good day today. I'm reaching out to you, touch base, to make sure your bank was drafted. These small things are going to just impact your guys' overall persistency to increase it no matter what lead type you're working. And I hope that made sense for you guys. But I want to thank Jaden, Leo, Bree, and Heather so much. You guys are coming on the call today. I know it was a bit last minute, but thank you guys for hopping on. I appreciate all of you tremendously. And thank you for all the work you guys are doing to help grow the team and help better all of us and the agents around us.
Thank you for
Thanks for
having me on.
having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rami. Thanks, guys.
Anytime, guys.